As a host, she's amazing. As a host. But as a boss and someone who's behind the scenes running the show, she's a different person. She's not the person people see in front of the camera.
For years, Ellen DeGeneres has been known as the queen of kindness, spreading messages of love and acceptance while promoting a woke agenda to the world. But behind the scenes, things were far from what they seemed. New revelations are coming to light, exposing a shocking contrast between the public image of Ellen and the toxic environment she allegedly fostered on her show. From claims of hypocrisy to explosive behind-the-scenes drama, the truth about Ellen's so-called woke agenda is unraveling, and it's far darker than anyone ever expected. What happens when the face of kindness is unmasked? The truth may be even more scandalous than you can imagine.
This TV producer is speaking out on camera for the first time about what it was like working for Ellen DeGeneres.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is.
In a rare and eye-opening interview, Hedda Muscat, a former TV producer, finally spoke out publicly for the first time about her experience working with Ellen DeGeneres. She didn't hold back, calling the environment at the Ellen DeGeneres show toxic and describing Ellen herself as a phony, hypocrite liar. Muscat, who worked behind the scenes from the beginning of the show's launch in 2003, painted a picture that's far removed from the queen of nice image Ellen cultivated for herself in front of the cameras. This isn't just another celebrity gossip story. It's about the reality of working on one of the most popular talk shows in America. A reality Muscat says was nothing like what fans saw on screen.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
When Muscat first joined the Ellen DeGeneres show, she expected a workplace that would reflect the kindness and humor Ellen was known for. After all, Ellen's public persona was all about positivity, making people laugh, and spreading joy. But the reality, according to Muscat, was very different. From the get-go, the team was told to keep their distance from Ellen. There were strict rules about interacting with her. You couldn't talk to her unless it was strictly work-related. Muscat recalls a tense atmosphere where everyone was walking on eggshells, never sure when they might be stepping out of line. It was nerve-wracking, stressful, and certainly not the welcoming environment one might expect from someone who portrayed herself as the friendliest TV host in the world.
We were in our production meetings and she would watch Ed go off on people. Ellen would look at Ed and she would laugh because I was hoping she was going to say, Ed, you can't be yelling at crew this way. You can't be yelling at people this way. She laughed and she said, every production needs their dog.
Meaning
Ed is her dog.
Like her attack dog.
Her attack dog.
What was supposed to be a dream job quickly turned into a nightmare for many working on the Ellen DeGeneres show. The tension was palpable, and Muscat described a workplace where everyone constantly felt like they were under pressure, never knowing when something might go wrong. She wasn't the only one who felt this way. Muscat said that from the very start there was an unspoken rule. Don't approach Ellen, don't go near her office, and don't make the mistake of trying to speak with her casually. What seemed like a rule of professionalism quickly became a sign of a toxic workplace culture. This culture wasn't just about staying away from Ellen, it was about the behavior that surrounded her. One of the key figures in creating this atmosphere was executive producer Ed Glavin, who Muscat recalls as being aggressively demanding and rude to crew members during production meetings. Muscat remembers a specific incident when Glavin lashed out at the crew, and instead of stepping in to stop it, Ellen just watched and laughed. Muscat was hoping Ellen would intervene, but instead, Ellen seemed to approve of Glavin's harsh methods. Ellen even made a comment that stuck with Muscat. She said that every production needs their dog, referring to Ed Glavin as the attack dog who would do the dirty work for her. Ellen didn't need to yell or intimidate people herself. Glavin would take care of that for her. In Muscat's eyes, this was a clear sign that Ellen was aware of the toxic behavior around her, but chose not to do anything about it. In fact, she encouraged it.
So therefore, she doesn't need to do that. He took the role of being the attack dog that she didn't have to now be the attack dog. So she didn't have to yell.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie.
This, Muscat claims, is exactly the type of environment that Ellen has denied ever existing. Ellen, who once famously told her audience, "Be kind to one another," seemed to have no problem tolerating a workplace that contradicted that very message. Muscat felt that Ellen's public denial of the toxic work environment was nothing short of a lie.
As a host, she's amazing. As a host. But as a boss and someone who's behind the scenes running the show, she's a different person. She's not the person people see in front of the camera.
It's one thing to put on a friendly face for the cameras, but it's another to treat people respectfully when the cameras aren't rolling. Muscat revealed that the Ellen most people saw on TV was nothing like the one she and others experienced behind the scenes. On the show, Ellen was known for her infectious smile, lighthearted humor, and constant messages of kindness. But according to Muscat, the real Ellen was a much different person, someone who controlled the show from behind the scenes with an iron fist. The workplace was one of fear, where employees were expected to tiptoe around Ellen's moods and whims, always unsure of how she would react to the smallest mistake. Muscat believes Ellen's persona was a carefully constructed image, one that was designed to cover up the toxic culture that permeated the workplace. While Ellen talked about love and kindness on TV, behind the scenes, she ignored or even encouraged the very behavior that contradicted those values. Muscat's take is that Ellen knew exactly what was happening but didn't care to fix it.
Do you think anything will change?
No, because she should have apologized 16 years ago. This environment, this toxic culture that she created in the office has been going on for 16 years.
Hedda Muscat was no stranger to the demands of the entertainment industry. She had worked hard and even won 2 daytime Emmys with the Ellen DeGeneres show. But despite her success and the accolades, Muscat couldn't ignore the toxic atmosphere. She left the show in 2004, not because of her performance, but because the work environment had become unbearable. Muscat made it clear that Ellen as a boss was very different from the likable figure she portrayed on TV. She wasn't the compassionate leader she seemed to be. Instead, Muscat describes Ellen as someone who was difficult to work with and showed no remorse for the toxic environment she helped create. After leaving the show, Muscat's view of Ellen had clearly soured. She says that Ellen was never apologetic about the culture she had built on set, and she believes that the issues Muscat faced, along with many others, were simply swept under the rug. This lack of acknowledgement only reinforced Muscat's view that Ellen was not the person she appeared to be, and the toxic behavior persisted long after she had left. As the Ellen DeGeneres show continues, the question remains, can Ellen truly make a change, or has the damage been done? Only time will tell, but for Muscat, the apology should have come long ago, and for those who worked under her, the scars of that toxic culture are not so easily forgotten. The truth behind Ellen's woke agenda is more complex and troubling than anyone could have anticipated. As these shocking revelations continue to surface, one thing is clear, what we thought we knew about Ellen may never be the full story. If you want to stay up to date on this unfolding saga, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next as the layers continue to peel back. Stay tuned for more.